What if Maul saved Anakin on Mustafar? Let's start the story during the finale of the Clone War. Maul successfully escapes the Venator-class Star Destroyer, leaving Ahsoka and Rex to fight off the 501st inside, under control of the inhibitor chips. He flies his ship away out of the atmosphere and thinks about what he should do next. His old master Sidious has won. Order 66 has begun, but that means his life is in danger. He has to hide for now. He goes to jump into hyperspace, but as his fingers go to press the button, he falls back into a vision. The Force itself screams from a single molten point in the galaxy. He saw Mustafar, a festering wound in the cosmos. It's rivers of lava, not merely rock, but the very blood of the dark side. He saw two figures dancing upon rivers of molten rock, one cloaked in darkness, the other in fading light. Their blades clashed like thunder, sparks showering into the inferno. Anakin Skywalker was burning with hatred and betrayal, and fought Obi-Wan, whose sorrow cut deeper than any saber. Maul's breath caught the fury, the heartbreak, the rawness of the duel. In the reflection of the battle, he saw not only the death of brotherhood, but the very birth of the Empire itself. Maul was thrust out of the vision. As he tried to gather his thoughts, he contemplates what the Force has just shown him. Does he continue his escape to hide in the Outer Rim from the clones and Sidious? Or does he go after revenge on both Obi-Wan and Anakin? Maul presses the button on his dash to enter hyperspace and exits to see Mustafar's burning rock in front of him. As he exits, he feels a wound in the Force. He might be too late. The battle may have finished. He enters the atmosphere and exits his ship, the instant heat of the planet almost burning his skin. He scours the plains, looking for any signs of the Jedi he seeks. He looks off in the distance, and he can feel the hatred, the pain, the fear. He follows it until he sees his target, Anakin Skywalker, burned and broken. His master's prized possession, already destroyed by Obi-Wan, but not completely. He could be saved. The thought does enter Maul's mind, but he should end him here. Destroy Anakin Skywalker to starve his master Sidious of his prized pupil. He ignites his blade and goes to strike Anakin down, but he's hit with another thought. He could use Anakin to his advantage. He's broken and beaten and could rebuild him as his own. He grabs Anakin with the Force and takes him back to his ship as Skywalker screams out in pain. But Maul lets him experience it, knowing he will need to cling to the dark side if he's to survive his journey, as Maul was forced to when Kenobi defeated him on Naboo. They leave Mustafar and enter hyperspace. Meanwhile, only minutes later, Palpatine arrived. He searched Mustafar for any signs of Anakin, but he couldn't find him. He could only sense his presence in the Force and traces of another, Obi-Wan Kenobi. Palpatine couldn't believe it. Obi-Wan must have killed Darth Vader. He spits in anger. Vader must have let his arrogance get the better of him. No matter, Vader was useful while he lasted and helped him complete his goal of eradicating the Jedi, and now the Empire and galaxy is his. However, Obi-Wan takes Padme back to Polis Massa, where she successfully gave birth to Luke and Leia. However, shortly after died of sadness, losing the will to live. Maul arrives out of hyperspace at his home planet of Dathomir. His ship descends through the atmosphere outside the main Night Sister fortress. Only weeks ago, Mother Talzin was killed and the Separatists sacked the planet, killing most of the Night Sisters, leaving very few to remain. Maul went inside the Night Sister temple, the place where Talzin performed most of her rituals, the place where she restored his mind and legs. The ichor pools beneath the temple acted as a magical nexus, perfect for channeling spirits or resurrection rituals. He places Anakin's body on the center stone tablet and steps back, thinking what he should do next. He hears a footstep behind him and turns to see a Night Sister standing there. Maul demanded who she was, who states she was a Night Sister Merrin, who asked what Maul was doing here. That night, brothers were not permitted in the temple. She looked over his shoulder to see Anakin's body on the stone tablet. She told Maul that this man was a Sith and asked Maul if he was a Sith also, and if so, he must die for what the Sith have done to Dathomir. She readied to attack, but Maul told her to stand down. He was a Sith, but no longer. He's planning to use Anakin's power against the Sith, against Sidious, the one who ordered the attack on Dathomir. He looks Merrin up and down and tells her he could use her help. He needs the power of a Night Sister magic to restore Anakin to his full potential. Together, They can get revenge on the one who destroyed their people. Merrin accepts and asks Maul what she must do, who tells her the power to restore a being's body has only been learned by one witch, Talzin. She must channel Talzin's spirit to borrow her power to not only restore Anakin's body, but to ensure he is under their control. She walks up to the stone tablet and puts her hand on Anakin's head and begins chanting. Maul hears whispers of dead spirits, the temperature drops, and the wind picks up. It's working. Smoke appears from the tablet, and it diffuses around the room and comes together in a smoky green swirl to create the face of Mother Talzin. She demands why Maul has summoned her here, who tells his mother that he wishes to borrow her power. He wants to restore Anakin's strength to use him to enact revenge on Sidious, the man who destroyed Dathomir. Talzin can see inside Maul's soul and does not sense any deception. She reaches out and begins her magic as green smoke is thrust into Skywalker's body. He rises off the table as his body begins to change. His arms grow back, then his legs. His burned skin returns back to normal and his hair back to what it was before. His body has been restored, but at the cost of his mind. His eyes turn green as he's returned back to the stone tablet, now under Maul's control. The power of the Chosen One is now his. Talzin states to use this magic wisely as she disappears back into her tomb. Maul doesn't waste any time. He, Merrin, and Anakin go to Coruscant. They sneak through the blockade and land near the Senate building. Merrin casts an invisibility spell for them as Maul and Anakin hide their presence in the Force. They sneak through the corridors until they break into Palpatine's office. The Emperor is at his desk, working away, and Maul plans to sneak up on him, to stab his lightsaber through his chest while he's none the wiser. Palpatine looked up, sensing something was wrong. He spoke aloud, asking who dare attempt to sneak up on a Sith Lord. He pushed the three of them back with the Force against the back wall, as their cloaking spell was broken. Palpatine couldn't believe it. Maul, a Night Sister, but most importantly, Anakin was here, but he could instantly tell from his green eyes that he wasn't Skywalker. He was being controlled by Night Sister magic. A roar tore from Maul's throat as he launched forward with his double-bladed lightsaber. Sidious met with his own to catch the blow, but Maul was not alone. Anakin moved with an unnatural silent grace, his body now a weapon of pure magically enhanced instinct. He did not fight with the elegant fury of a Jedi, nor the raging anger of a Sith, but the chilling efficiency of a predator. His green magic sword striking at openings that Maul created. Sidious flung his saber wildly, deflecting both of their assaults, whilst his free hand unleashed torrents of Sith lightning that forced Merrin to throw up barriers of green simmering magic. The air itself grew thick and heavy as the clash of dark energy and Night Sister magic warped reality. Seeing an opening, Merrin sank her fingers into the floor, her chants echoing through the chamber. Tendrils of smoky emerald energy erupted from the shadows, not attacking the Emperor directly, but coiling around his feet and ankles like spectral serpents, anchoring him to the spot. For a crucial second, this broke his defense, as Sidious fought to break the magical bindings. It was the opening Anakin needed. Driven by Maul's silent command, he lunged, the green mist of his blade carving a horizontal arc through the trapped Sith Lord. Palpatine's eyes widened in a moment of shock before his body was cleaved in two. They were successful, and Maul and Merrin had successfully enacted their revenge. Maul went to his desk immediately and called for an emergency Senate meeting. The senators rumbled in, wondering what the Emperor could possibly want. The center console rose, expecting to see Palpatine, but instead it was Maul. Maul declares to the entire Senate that he has killed the traitorous Palpatine to take over the Empire for himself. Roars of disdain carry out and pushback from the senators who don't support this takeover. However, Maul silences them and tells them why he's done this. Because Palpatine was an evil tyrant, he had been working with Dooku the entire time. They created the Clone War, the very conflict that had plagued the galaxy for 3 years, to seize power for himself. And now, Maul is the only one who can cleanse the galaxy. And now with the clone army under his control, he can do anything. Worlds that do not comply will face the full force of the clone army. There was silence in the Senate chamber, no world wanting to speak out and face Maul's wrath. Maul states that the first decree of his empire is that he demands the arrest of Jedi Master Obi-Wan Kenobi and whoever does this will be rewarded handsomely. Revenge is his first goal, and after that, he can focus on establishing his empire throughout the galaxy. Meanwhile, on Tatooine, Obi-Wan was in hiding protecting Luke. It had only been 1 week, yet news came to the planet that Emperor Palpatine has been defeated, and Emperor Maul has taken his place. Obi-Wan couldn't believe it, and contacted Bail Organa immediately, who confirmed it was true. Kenobi went to Dagobah, to Yoda, and told the Grand Master they now have an opportunity. They can defeat Maul far more easily than they could Palpatine. Yoda thinks it's risky, but use this opportunity they must. But help they will need. Organa told them there's one person he knows who could help, not a Jedi, but Ahsoka Tano, and he gives them her emergency contact. Obi-Wan and Yoda fly towards Polis Massa, and on the way contact Ahsoka. No doubt she's seen Maul's rise to power, and is also eager to stop him. They met at Polis Massa and reunited. Ahsoka and Obi-Wan hug, congratulating each other on surviving the purge. Yoda tells Ahsoka, "A light in the darkness you remain." Glad his heart is that Ahsoka survived. They discuss their plan of attack, but before they do, Yoda has a curious question for Ahsoka. Before Order 66, Ahsoka told them that she wanted to speak with Anakin, and she asked her what she wanted to say. She told the Masters that Maul said he had a vision of Sidious, well, Palpatine, that he was attempting to turn Anakin to his side, but in the end, Maul was wrong. Anakin fell in Order 66 like the rest of the Jedi. Obi-Wan and Yoda look at each other, and Ahsoka notices the weirdness of the situation, asking if something different happened. Obi-Wan puts his hand on Ahsoka's shoulder, telling her Maul's vision was right. Anakin joined Palpatine and turned to the dark side, but he was forced to kill him on Mustafar. He was too great a threat, and he didn't have a choice. Tears started falling from Ahsoka's eyes. It couldn't be true, not her Anakin. He wouldn't. Obi-Wan hugs Ahsoka and tells her they can make this right. They can defeat the Sith, restore democracy back to the galaxy, and avenge Anakin and Padme. Bail Organa comes in and they discuss the plan. He tells them reports say that Maul has 2 Night Sisters by his side at all times, so there's more than just him to fight. But that's not the issue. Coruscant is on lockdown. Maul is extremely paranoid of being attacked at the moment. However, most importantly, he wants Kenobi, having put out an order for his arrest. They think about this, wondering how they're going to get into Coruscant, but Ahsoka has an idea, telling them if Maul wants Kenobi, why don't they give him what he wants? They discuss the plan to sneak into Coruscant, to have Ahsoka in a disguise and proclaim that she's captured Kenobi, whilst having Yoda hide in an astromech droid. Maul will definitely break the blockade if he believes he's getting Kenobi. They like this plan and carry it out the next day. They enter Coruscant with ease, and their ship is directed to the landing bay by the Senate building. They land, and Ahsoka in her disguise exits with Kenobi in handcuffs, and Yoda in an astromech close behind. Emperor Maul comes and greets them directly and congratulates them, telling Ahsoka that she will be rewarded handsomely. The Jedi could see Maul, as well as 1 Night Sister by his side, and presumably the second on the other, but they couldn't see the other's face under its hood, and didn't know if it was a Night Sister. It looked more like the size of a Night Brother. In a flash, Ahsoka removes her disguise, ignites her lightsaber to cut off Kenobi's handcuffs, while Yoda breaks free from the astromech droid. Maul stops as his anger overrides his face. He ignites his blade and commands Anakin to kill them all. The 3 of them pause. Anakin? What could Maul mean? But the unknown figure to his side takes off his hood to reveal the face of Anakin Skywalker. Not burned, not broken, but whole. Obi-Wan took a step back, muttering that it can't be, whilst Ahsoka muttered his name, Anakin. But they realize quickly that this isn't Anakin. His eyes are green, and no doubt under the control of Night Sister magic. They must win this fight to save their friend. The fight begins. Ahsoka and Obi-Wan take on Anakin, whilst Yoda fights Maul and Merrin at the same time. Ahsoka and Obi-Wan aren't trying to kill Anakin, but to subdue him and reach the man inside. Anakin was ruthless as he aimed for the kill. They had to defend carefully and make sure they didn't get backed up into a corner. Obi-Wan, using his signature Form 3, causes Anakin to overextend. He trips him to the ground and kicks his lightsaber away. Skywalker goes to grab it, but Kenobi holds him at bay with the Force, whilst Ahsoka makes a move that isn't an attack. She reaches out through the Force, not to probe, but to project a powerful, specific memory into his mind. A happy, peaceful moment from the Clone War. the moment when the three of them were on the Resolute, laughing and smiling between missions. The magic had suppressed Anakin's memory, but it can't destroy them. Ahsoka's projection acts like a key, unlocking the vault in his mind. Simultaneously, Obi-Wan does the same, projecting the memory of when Anakin was granted the rank of Jedi Knight, the happiness Anakin felt, and the proudness Obi-Wan did in his apprentice. The combination of Ahsoka's love and Obi-Wan's familiar presence started to cut through the Night Sister magic. Anakin's eyes flickered normal for a second, seeing Anakin's real face return, until the eyes turned green once again. Ahsoka and Obi-Wan threw down their lightsabers to reach out with the Force and flow their presence directly into Anakin. The magic was strong, but the best thing to break it was to get Anakin to fight back from within. Anakin felt them through the Force, Ahsoka and Obi-Wan, two people he cares about immensely, and with a shatter, Anakin's body rises into the air as the green mist of Night Sister magic leaves him. He collapses to the ground, fatigued, but Ahsoka catches him, telling Ahsoka it's okay, she is here now. Obi-Wan turns around and sees Yoda besting Maul and Mirren in combat. The Grandmaster cut through Maul's blade in half and was holding Mirren down with the Force. They had won. Obi-Wan and Yoda go with Bail to the Senate and call for an emergency meeting. They bring Maul and declare to the Senate that the Jedi have overthrown Maul and proclaim that they will return the Empire back to the Republic and give democracy back to the Senate. Cheers roared through the crowd, as none of them were a fan of Maul's empire. The Jedi permit Organa to have control of the Republic in this transitory period, whilst they order those who helped Palpatine's rise to power, Master Mita, Saint Pistage, and most of the bureaucracy are under arrest. Bail Organa states to the Senate that the galaxy has been saved by the Jedi, and they owe them a massive debt. Yoda stays with Organa, whilst Obi-Wan goes back to Ahsoka and Anakin. Anakin thanks them both for breaking him free from that trance. He states that he could see everything that happened, but didn't have any control. He asks about Padme, but Obi-Wan told him that she died from a broken heart, losing the will to live after seeing what he had become. Anakin's head falls as tears crept from his eyes. This was more pain than he had ever felt in his life. His journey to the dark side, for power, to save her, had all been for nothing, and the only reason she had died in the end is because of what Anakin had become. A monster. He declares that he was foolish to give into his visions of Padme's death, as his actions only caused them to come true. The dark side wasn't a savior, it was a trap. He sees it now. Ahsoka embraces Anakin, telling him she's sorry she wasn't there to save him from Palpatine's manipulation, and Obi-Wan joins in the hug, telling Anakin he's sorry for what he did to him, but Anakin tells him not to be. He was doing his duty to the galaxy and Force. A few days later, after the Senate was established, the Jedi met properly to discuss their plan going forward. Anakin's mind is adrift. He's consumed by guilt and tells Obi-Wan and Ahsoka that he can't stay on Coruscant. The memories of pain that he's caused are far too strong. Obi-Wan put his hand on his shoulder and tells Anakin there is a path for redemption, but he doesn't have to fail their twin children, Luke and Leia. Anakin's eyes went wide in shock, asking Obi-Wan if what he says is true. Does he have children? Obi-Wan tells him everything. His daughter is with Bail Organa on Alderaan, whilst his son is with the Lars on Tatooine. Anakin wants to meet his children so badly, but he explains to the Jedi that he can't be their father, not yet. He needs to redeem himself, but he can be the man who makes the galaxy safer for them. Every slaver he breaks, every petty tyrant he stops, every spark of hope he rekindles, that will be for Luke and Leia, and declares that he cannot see his children until he's made up for his crimes. Ahsoka declares that she cannot lose Anakin again, that she will go with him, and that she will be the keeper of his vow, understanding that this is the path to redemption. A day later, Ahsoka and Anakin board their ship, their first target, liberating a former separatist world, now being exploited by the remnants of the Imperial war machine. Anakin isn't fighting for the Republic or Jedi Code, he's fighting for the people, using his skills for genuine good. Obi-Wan watches them leave from a temple window, feeling a sense of peace. Anakin isn't the chosen one of prophecy, but he has finally chosen his own path, free of Sith Lords, Jedi Councils, dark magic, and is on the path to redemption. 3 years later, Anakin and Obi-Wan are perched on a snowy mountain, each with their telescopes looking into the distance. The last 3 years have been eventful. Together side by side, they've been the vigilantes of the Outer Rim, freeing slaves, stopping pirates, and ultimately serving the people that need them the most. They hone in on a single person in the distance, a young Leia being carried by Breha Organa, and Anakin feels a painful, beautiful warmth in the Force, seeing his daughter for the first time. The next day, peering through macro binoculars from a rocky outcrop, he sees the Lars homestead. Owen is handing a tool to a young Luke, and Ahsoka turns to Anakin, telling him he has earned it. He has redeemed himself and earned a life with his children. Padme would be proud of him. Padme would be proud of the man and father Anakin has become. They embrace as Anakin leaves the rocky outcrop and walks forward to meet his son Luke for the first time. Don't miss out on the last day to get our premium deluxe replica lightsabers at this insanely cheap price. Our sabers have over 50 effects, insanely good build quality, as well as a fully customizable app so you can control your saber from your own phone. We're also giving away a free Chosen One Deluxe replica with any card value over $249. So if you and your brother or friend both want a saber, this is the best possible deal you can find. Don't miss out on this, guys. It's the last day for this sale.